the Awaken Your Ego podcast with Joanne and Ariana. We are a health podcast that explores topics to do with biohacking and self-discovery.
We are also on the self-discovery journey, and we want to attract listeners that are doing the same in order to help them realize they're not alone.
Ego differs from conventional medical spas and wellness centers. We believe that the secret to maximizing one's sense of self is in addressing the entire person, inside and out. We provide state-of-the-art aesthetic treatments as well as lifestyle management and holistic health solutions. We aim to please with our efficient and friendly customer service and guarantee with our scientifically proven alternative therapies and lifestyle optimizations that every patient will leave our care with a boosted ego. Our goal is to help our patients realize the necessity of self-care and to encourage them to prioritize their health and wellness goals. When we make self-care and confidence a priority, then we're able to bring to light our potential for happiness and growth. This podcast is a way to expand our reach so that we are able to spread the word on the importance of self, the whole self, inside and out.
This podcast is for educational purposes only. Please reach out to your medical provider if you have questions about any of the treatments we discuss to see if it's a right fit for you. Now on to our show.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Awaken Your Ego podcast. Today we're going to be talking to Cindy Fraze.
Hi.
And she's going to be our first speaker in a little mini series on financial wellness. So we're super excited to have her.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, Cindy. So we're going to start this off by asking you some rapid fire questions. So try to answer them as quickly as possible. First thing that comes to mind. Ready, Ariana?
All right.
And here we are. What is your job title?
Regional sales manager.
What's your favorite month?
August.
What's your favorite animal?
Dog.
What word do you hate hearing?
Oh, I can't say bad words. So it's a saying, what's for dinner?
Oh, me too. Who do you text the most?
Matt, my husband.
Who is your hero?
Can I say Matt, my husband again? No, Superwoman.
No, forget him. Where did you go on your last vacation?
We went to up near Yellowstone.
Nice.
So, out in the outdoors.
What is your go-to pastime?
Travel.
What was your favorite subject in school?
Recess. This is going to give a bad abuse with me.
Where did you grow up?
Manteca, just up the road.
Not far. What's your favorite body part?
I see that giggle. My favorite body part is my eyes.
Love it. Okay, time's out. That was perfect. You're like, Matt's, it might be different.
Yeah,
but
Matt's, it might be different. And what can I admire? I mean, that's a big question there.
Oh, that is perfect. Good job. All right. I wanted to intro Cindy and read her bio really quick so all of our listeners can kind of know your background and where you come from. Cindy Fraze is an award-winning realtor and top producer whose steadfast leadership has earned her the reputation as a sought-after real estate agent in the neighborhoods of Modesto, Turlock, Oakdale, Riverbank, and Manteca. Over the span of 2 decades, she has garnered extensive industry experience, closing a staggering 80 properties in 2017 alone. In 2020, Cindy earned the prestigious Manager of the Year. Currently, Cindy runs the esteemed real estate brokerage Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices Drysdale properties, where she and her dedicated team of experts offer top-tier realty services to buyers and sellers alike, from traditional, new home, and short sales to bank-owned properties and foreclosures. As a proud part of the Berkshire Hathaway team, she strives to go the extra mile and truly be there for each and every valued client. And I can attest to that because she's helped me buy a few homes. She's a lifetime inhabitant of the Central Valley, and Cindy is well-versed in pairing buyers with the perfect homes, backed by her firsthand knowledge of the local market, school system, crime rates, cost of living, and building trends. An avid negotiator, she also ensures her sellers' properties are sold at the most competitive prices possible. I can also attest to that. When she isn't helping people attain her goals, Cindy Fraze enjoys spending quality time with her family, being in the great outdoors, going on camping trips, and playing sports. She is happily married and the proud mother of 3 beautiful children. Outside of real estate, family, and her other passions, she is deeply involved in her community, assisting organizations like the Red Cross and local universities like Stanislaus State.
Wow, I want to meet that girl.
I want to be that girl. Like, that's awesome.
Wow.
So Cindy, how did you originally get into real estate?
I was fired from my other job.
Oh, wow.
And I decided I was 6 months pregnant, and I was offered a position, and I said, okay, I'll have a couple months here, and then I got to go on maternity leave, and we'll just give it a 6-month trial. 27 years later, I'm not sure if we're still in the trial phase, but that's how I got into it. So it kind of fell in my lap. I was a paralegal, worked in the legal field beforehand. So the contracts and those types of things, it goes hand in hand. And then it's just working with people. Mm-hmm. I enjoy it. I absolutely love it.
Well, what would you say is the most fulfilling part of what you do?
It's helping people get to their next adventure, whether they want to buy a home to live in, whether it's an investment, whether they want to, build their financial wealth, which is what we'll talk a little bit more about, or, they want to move closer to grandkids. And so moving is not easy. It's not, I always say I'm going to make it as smooth as possible. It's never smooth. There's always bumps in the road. And I just enjoy helping people along that. It's what I do every day. So I do it every day. Some people only do it every 7 to 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, and what separates you from another real estate agent, from another,
Well, heck, didn't you just read about it?
No, totally. Yeah.
No, I think what it is, it's really my core desire to help people. There are people, other sales professionals that are transactional. They want just sell the property, move on, next. That's never been or felt comfortable to me. It's how can I provide value to that family long term? It's not a one and done. Like when you go buy a car, let's say, and you work with the salesman, do you go back? Do they send you updates on what your home is worth? No, it's one and done, right? And some of our profession in real estate is like that as well. And I have a kick-ass marketing team. I have great graphics and all that stuff to help and know the market, know the numbers. I'm not a numbers person, but you got to know the data. And so, but really it comes down to my heart. I just really enjoy helping people long term. A lot of my clients become friends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Well, and I feel like you build trust, like you said, you have that intent and it's easy to feel and see, and it makes clients want to come back and work with you again and again.
Yeah.
And I feel like for me, I've always, every time I've dealt with you on different properties and buying and selling, it's very smooth. And I always default to you. I'm like, Cindy, is this a good deal? Is this a bad deal? Should I go for it? Am I being stupid? Am I just being greedy? And I feel like you always have that data to back it up. Like, hey, let's look at the specs. Let's actually take a good peek, Yeah.
Real estate is about analyzing it. Is it make sense? Is it good? Does it feel right? There's a whole bunch of different things. I'm not going to let you make a horrible, bad decision if you're my client. I'm going to give you all the information that's out there to help you make a decision. And you can make it from there. But yes, definitely a trusted advisor is one of my favorite roles.
Oh, that's great.
So who would you say is a good candidate for real estate investing?
Everybody. You got 2 pennies to rub together. That's a good start. Anybody can own real estate. You have to be over 18. Okay, I guess that's one thing you've got to be, over 18, but anybody can do it. I have a client who's 24 years old and she still lives at home, but she has a great job and she's got all this money in the bank and she's like, I need it to work for me. Instead of the 0.001 interest rate you're getting from interest on your bank account. So we started investing about 4 years ago, and she owns 4 rental properties now.
Oh, wow.
And she lives at home. And I call it mailbox money. She just gets mailbox money every single month. And that's really just building more and more of her wealth so that when she decides she wants to go buy her dream home or for forever home or renovate or anything like that, she has it. So it's for everybody.
And what would be the first step someone should take if they want to start explore, buying up some property or even
Call me.
investments?
Number one, call me, because it's all about what path do you want to take and where are you in the journey. If, you're like, I have only 2 pennies to rub together. So, okay, let's take a look at that. Let's build a plan to see how long will it take to get X amount. Because you do need a good down payment, especially if it's an investment. 25% is about right. Now, that's not buying a home for yourself. I want to make that clear, because a personal residence, you can have a lot less and purchase a home. But an investment property, you can have about 25%. So it just depends, like, okay, do I want to buy $1 million investment property or maybe closer to 400,000? And what does that look like? And there's so many variables, even when buying a home, but buying an investment as well. Do you want to be a landlord, and what does that look like? Do you want to have a fixer-upper and put some sweat equity into it? Do you want to just, plug and play? I want it all done. I just want to get tenants in there and get my mailbox check. So the first thing is, let's see where you want to go, where you're at, and then send you down the path. Work with a lender, find out, is this even realistic? Does this exist, or is it a needle in a haystack?
Well, and what expense, and I like that you kind of mentioned that, like meeting with you first, discussing what the goal is, and then possibly looking at a lender to see what you qualify for. What cost is associated, say if I wanted to go to a lender and just see what I qualify for, just so that people can kind of know what to save up for even for that.
So in a typical real estate transaction, as a buyer, currently, I can get into the weeds in this one really easily, but currently you have escrow fees, title fees, and then the lender typically has fees that they charge as well. So you can shop your lender. That's something I would recommend. And they charge fees. But, closing costs, that's considered closing costs, the escrow fee, the title fee, and then, you'll have a notary and just various costs. If you budget about 2.5% to 3% for closing costs, lender fees, all of those things, you're going to be perfect. You're going to be right on. And part of that can come from that 25%. So, you use 22% to put as a down payment. You could also use that 3% there if you're really tight. But I would recommend, having a little stash in the bank. Nowadays in this market, even sellers are giving credits towards closing costs. So working with that professional realtor that knows what's going on and knows the market can also help you get the best deal possible.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, and do you know lenders around, like say I want to just go see what I could qualify for, right?
Yeah.
Do you know the fees that they charge just for that to take a look and see, or is it just everyone's different?
I don't get into that.
Okay.
Some charge points, some charge, different fees. And I'm not a numbers gal. I'm the one that's going to find you your home. But I work with several different lenders that can give you that detail of information.
Okay, cool.
I didn't do well in math in school. Not my favorite subject. But I'll tell you, I know 3% of every number possible.
I think I know what that looks like.
So you are a very successful and busy woman. How do you find time for yourself?
So I'm never too busy. That's one of those pet peeve words that I have. I'm never too busy. I prioritize what's important to me. So if there's something that I need to prioritize, myself included, my family, my children, whatever, it gets into my schedule and things move around. And I think most people understand that. I truly believe that because I do a lot of education to my clients and to my office and everyone I work with, that I'm not here at the drop of a hat. That's not my business. If you need somebody who will say, how high when you say jump, I'm not your gal. I'm just not the person for that. I'm your trusted advisor that's going to walk you through this at a pace that is appropriate. But I find time by just taking it, scheduling it. And I am a time manager, really. And yeah, there's long days. Today's a long day. Been up since 5, got right on it early this morning. Don't anticipate to get home till about 7, which we'll be working out together tonight. Yes. And starting that process. But just grab it, put it on the calendar, and treat it like an appointment with somebody else. If I had an appointment with you, I'm not going to miss it. I have an appointment with myself. I get my nails done, I get my hair done, I go in and see, Dr. Rhodes. I have to make time because I can't be better for somebody else if I'm not better for myself.
I love that you feel that way, because I think a lot of people don't. It takes a while to realize that. Even myself, I feel like even recently, I am that girl that's, you say jump, I say how high, let's do it right now. It's, for me, it's like I've had to dial back and like you're saying, put myself on my schedule and not feel like I'm slacking, because I am worth it, And I think a lot of women specifically it's hard for them to do that because they think they have to self-sacrifice for everyone else, for their kids, for their job, and they get to be last.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm glad that you already kind of know.
Not only does our culture teach that, but that is kind of the expectation as we are younger, having children, and they do need us. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not here to say neglect your children, but I was given a perfect piece of advice when I got married by my mother. Very strong woman as well. She said, if you want your marriage to last, then you have date night every week. And when you've got little ones, you're like, how the bleepy bleep am I going to do that? Well, sometimes date night looked like going to the grocery store, you know, with the two littles. Sometimes date night, you know, like say, bringing them along. But for us, my mom was so gracious to say, I will take your children and babysit them once a week for you. And even to this day, we've been married almost 30 years now. We have date night every Saturday night. Every
That's
Saturday
awesome.
night.
Yeah.
And sometimes we sneak in on Friday, you know. And I don't cook, so I feel like I have reservations every night. So, you know, but it's really just taking the time extra because Matt knows on Saturday night, like it's his night. He doesn't schedule anything, I don't schedule anything. And really taking the time to do that. It's really difficult when you have youngs,
Yeah.
you know, and now we have grandkids. It's even more difficult. But you got to just set it in. Like I
Yeah.
say, whatever is a focus expands. Whatever is a priority gets in the schedule.
And I like that you mentioned being realistic, you know?
Yep.
Like you said, with kids, sometimes you can't get that alone time like you would want, but being creative in how you were still making it happen. And I think that's something that speaks out with you as you make things happen.
Yeah,
You're
I mean,
willing
if you have
put
to
in
take
the
them
effort.
along, you take them along. Or you find a friend and you co-op, right? Hey, I'll watch your kids on Friday if you watch mine on Saturday. Make it fun. Go to the zoo. I mean, yeah, maybe it's not adult alone time, but it'll be so much more relaxing if you just find and carve out space. Because I do think we go from get up in the morning, get you to school, get you to dance practice, get you to karate, get you to soccer, fall into dinner, you know, here's a chicken nugget or whatever, you know, and then run home and you've got, you know, bath time. And then, oh my gosh, society says I have to read to you. So here's 5 books I have to read. And it's just too much. Slow down. And especially, I mean, I've been to other states as well. The way even we drive here in California, everything's crazy. You go to different states, everything's at a slower pace, and that's good. I find that to be good. But be creative. You're a single parent, be creative. You have friends. If you don't have family around, be creative. You got to take time for yourself and, you know, your family.
Well, and how awesome does it feel to feel like a priority to someone else? You know, like you're saying, like you and your husband take that time together, and that feels good, and it's something you can count on. And it's like, I'm not going to get lost in the shuffle. Like she has me on her books. We're going to have that time together. And I feel like even for kids, that feels good. And lately, I've been trying to pencil in like mommy Dempsey time for like an hour out of the week, just me and him uninterrupted, and then mom and Sawyer. So I take time with both my kids, and it's funny because my son is the one that's like, Mom, it's mommy Dempsey time.
Yeah.
he like looks forward to it and he loves
Yeah.
it. And it took me a long time to even come to that groove or to even make that a thing and putting it on my calendar. But I'm so glad I did. And that for me is way easier than mommy time. You know, just mommy.
Right, mommy, now.
Yeah.
Well, and I think they're more understanding than when you say, mommy's got to go show property today, or mommy's got to go do this, because they know they're going to get their time. They know it's like, okay, I'm a priority, I'm going to be set. And daddy-daughter time is just as important, you know. And so having those dates and times set apart, and things come up. They can't be so rigid that they can't just, but they're a priority.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. It creates a deeper relationship, for sure.
Well, and there was one time where I was complaining, and I share an office with my sister, which I love and hate, but because she's always there to give me honest feedback, honest advice, which I need that. But sometimes you're in a mood where like, just agree with me. But there was one day and I'm like, oh, I'm so busy. I'm busy. I just was complaining with how I just don't have time. And I was complaining about working out, actually. Like, I just don't have time to work out. You know, if it's in the morning, this happens. If it's night, this happens. And she just looked at me. She's like, girl, you're not unique. And I was like caught off guard, like, excuse me? Like, I'm super unique. But in reality, she's right. She's like, dude, we all have the same time in the day.
Absolutely.
It's what you're prioritizing. And it hit me that at that moment where I'm like, she's right. I'm not making a priority to make sure I'm working out. And if I really wanted to, I would put it in my schedule just like everything else.
Doesn't that work for everything?
It does.
As what you prioritize, you focus on and it grows.
Yeah.
Whether it's your mental attitude, your mindset, whether it's with your children and those relationships, any relationship.
Your health.
Your health, working out, financial well-being. I mean, when you pay a little more attention to it, you know, whatever it is, it's going to grow.
When your capacity grows.
And you feel calmer about it because everything has its place. Sometimes, I'm busy. Like I said, that's a buzzword for me. I'm not busy. I just am choosing not to focus on that right now because there's higher priorities or different priorities. Now, it doesn't mean I ignore things. No. Hey, can I get back to you in an hour? I've got an appointment or that type of thing. But it all kind of makes you just a little calmer and you start to see the good in things as well. Start to feel a little more gratitude. I love spending time with my children because I get to see them as individuals, not as a group. So it's like, I get to sit with Jessica and learn about her and what her dreams are, and Carolyn, and then my spark, Sam, see what she wants to do in life. So it's more complete.
Well, and I like how you put it because it's almost like calming when you put it that way of like, I'm in control. Like I'm in 100% control of my schedule, what I do, what I don't do, instead of like, how do I juggle it all? And I feel like a lot of us will go to that place, like it just feels so overwhelming. And it's like, no, when you slow down, prioritize, then it is in your control.
And that's taken a long time, guys. I mean, you're still a lot younger than I am, but it's taken a long time and a lot of effort to say, I'm not going to jump right now or react to that right now because unfortunately I have a temper. So it's like I got a short fuse, to say back up, wait a minute, that drama drop or that issue, is that mine to pick up? Or can I leave it there? Will it simmer down and then be cooler to touch? Or do I need to deal with that right now? So kind of putting it into those categories has helped me go, okay, this is where I need to be in order to accomplish everything.
So it's like creating boundaries,
Definitely.
knowing when and when not to,
Yes.
step into something that could be overwhelming or take up too much time.
Yeah. I also have a problem saying no. So setting boundaries and just saying, okay, if I'm going to take this on, what does that look like? And kind of just playing it out, maybe talking it over with Matt. But really, also, I love adventure. So the spontaneity of things. But you got to realize what you're getting into. Because one of my big things is, when you overpromise and underdeliver, that's a horrible place to feel and be. As a self, as the person you're overpromised to. So you want to be right where you can perform and maybe even give a little extra.
Yeah, like setting yourself up to win, not just to feel like a failure. I love that. What are some things you're doing right now to enhance your wellness and overall happiness? Like specific things.
So when I wake up in the morning, first thing in the morning, set my alarm 10 or 15 minutes before I'm supposed to get out of bed. And I lay in bed and I just think of the great things, the gratitude I'm grateful for. Sometimes it's a little harder when I'm in a funk, when I'm in a mood. Sometimes I'm like, I'm grateful for my hand, I'm grateful for this bed that's nice and warm. But sometimes it does go a little deeper, not too deep, but a little deeper into, I'm really grateful that I have a full calendar today because that means I'm going to be helping people. I'm really grateful that I get the opportunity to do a podcast. Never done that before. So I could put that on, the paperwork. And really focusing in and just working on my breathing, working on, okay, calm down to tackle the day. And then getting revved up, right? Getting ready and putting on as my kids say, as soon as you put on your work clothes, you're good to go. You're ready to, get in the car and go. And so it's really just taking time in the morning to focus on, okay, this is what's important. That's my mind. And I feel like if your mindset is right, if you can or you can't, you're right.
Yeah.
And that's taken some time as well. As Ariana knows, last year, now I'll get emotional.
That's okay.
Last year, about May, I was in a really dark spot. I was 75 pounds heavier and just a mess, going, 51 years old and just 50, 51, not because I turned 50, I don't really care about that, but just not in a good spot. Just my relationships with my family were not where they wanted and needed to be, and my health wasn't very good. I was pre-diabetic. I dislike working out. I enjoy it when I'm with friends and with Matt, but doing it by myself is difficult. And so I went and saw Dr. Rhodes, and he really helped me balance hormones and really started to think about, okay, what is it that you want to do for yourself? Taking that time, prioritizing myself. And so now it is, what am I doing for my health? It's making sure I'm in balance, that what I'm doing is like, this feels good. It's good for my health. My heart rate is good. I've lost weight, and I feel so much better and just happier. And I can thank Dr. Rhodes and Ariana for that, for sure.
And do you feel like being more proactive in your health, and did you feel like it had a ripple effect in your family
Yes.
as well?
Family, work, everywhere. Like I said before, that quick temper was right there on the surface because I wasn't happy with myself. And every time I looked in the mirror, I would just close my eyes and go, can we just remove all the mirrors from the house? You know, I just was at that point where nothing seemed to satisfy me. I wasn't in the mood of gratitude. My mindset wasn't right. I was headed down kind of the wrong mental path. And so, yeah, it definitely had an effect. Yeah, did I have a great career real estate year last year? Yeah. And I serviced my clients well and, you know, put on the face and the facade. But really deep down inside, my cup was not being filled. And so could I get it done? Yeah, I mean, that's when you know, you're Wonder Woman, you know, you do it.
You push through.
Yes.
You push through. You have to, you know, I mean, but in reality, deep down, I wasn't serving well. I was serving, but I wasn't serving well. Now I'm in a different spot. Now I feel like I can really deepen those relationships with people, wherever it is, family, friends, clients, and really dig in and say, what do you want to accomplish? I can help you with that.
Yeah, but with everything that you've learned, what advice would you give your younger self if you could?
Oh, relax, sis. It's going to happen. Just relax. I mean, you know, look for the good, look for the positive, and just let it happen. You're capable. It's going to happen. It's just, don't stress. Don't worry about, I mean, there's a book, right? Don't sweat the small stuff. I really think that's what I would say for sure, is just relax. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't try to control others and what they're going to do. Just chill. I don't know.
Yeah, no, and I think one of the things that's like one of the most important relationships we have, and one of the hardest relationships to deal with, is that relationship with self. Like you're saying, it's like I was successful, things were going great, but I think it is like constantly working on that mindset piece and becoming aligned and grounded with yourself. And that sounds simple, maybe difficult to some, but to me, it just, at first for me, that sounded very overwhelming. Like, how does that happen? I thought I knew myself. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah. This is what I want.
This is what I
Darn
want.
It, you know?
But it's like, I feel like when I started working with Lizette, which I know Cindy's worked with Lizette a little bit, it really showed me like, girl, you don't even know what you like. You don't know what you don't like. You're going through the motions for everyone else. Like, figure out who Ariana is. What does Ariana enjoy? Where's my capacity? Why? I realized how out of tune I was with me. I was just going through those motions and showing up for other people without knowing what it took to show up for myself.
Exactly.
And I feel like the more we're in tune and grounded with ourselves, the more we'll realize what our passions are, where we should head, where our priorities should be. But it all starts with like getting to know ourselves. I don't know.
Yeah, Lizette's been a huge help over the last year for me as well.
Shout out to Lizette.
Shout out to Lizette.
She is our Reiki master for those who do not know who she is. So she is accepting clients.
She is awesome. She's amazing. And yeah, she's made me stop and slow down because it was for everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to do this for Matt. I got to do this for the kids. I got to do this for work. I got to do that for this. And where was Cindy and all that? I think that was one of the first questions that she asked me was, where are you? And it's like, what do you mean? Where? I'm right here. I mean, what are you talking
like,
about?
you see me.
Yeah. I'm right here. I mean, blonde, here I am. And so really Lizette has helped to say, what is it that you want in a good way? I mean, I don't think we are necessarily rewarded for bad. I mean, if there's good and bad. But what do you want to accomplish? And you're capable of it. And we all have that potential within us. It's just a matter of focusing on it, making sure that, yeah, I do want to do that. There's a goal that I haven't shared it with Lizette yet. I just shared it with a group of friends on Friday for the first time. I said it out loud. And now I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. I think that's where I want to head. And now, just 4 or 5 days later, since I said it out loud to my 4 girlfriends, things are starting to bubble up and go like, hey, have you ever thought of? And I'm like, yeah, I've thought of that. And so,
Like you're noticing the universe aligning
like it's
itself
providing,
with that choice.
yeah. And my brain is starting to wrap around it, right? Like, okay, you want to do that? Let's figure out how to do it. And that's the potential in all of us. If I want this, just let your brain know. Give your brain an unanswered question and watch how it works. It will go, how are we going to make that happen? How is that going to happen? Can we go this way? No. Can we go this way? No. It'll keep working. It'll keep working until it finds an answer. That's how we're wired.
Yeah.
That's how we're wired. Or at least that's how I'm wired.
But you have to be
know.
brave enough to even ask that question, right?
Yes.
No, totally. Or
Yeah.
to, ask yourself, like, could I have this?
Could I?
Am I that girl?
worthy of it?
Yeah.
See, I
Yeah.
think that's where we stand in our own way. Are we worthy of it? Like, I want to do that. Okay, I'm going to share with you. Oh my gosh, I'm putting it out in the world now.
On the podcast.
I'm like all butterflies right here, right now. I would love to speak on a national stage,
Love it.
Nice.
career-wise. I have a franchise that I could do that. We do a convention. I would love to be a speaker on that level. But just as I just said it, I got all these butterflies and I've got these blocks and I'm like, can I do it? Is it even possible? Do I know the right people? What am I going to say? What if I'm asked? Then what am I going to do? I start throwing up roadblocks. But really it all comes down to that question. Am I worthy to do it? Hell yeah.
You would kill it. Yeah, you would do
Yeah, right?
fantastic.
Hell yeah. But I mean, I got to work through those blocks as well. That's scary to speak in front of a couple thousand people.
Yeah.
I mean, give me 200, I'm good to go. But the numbers get up there and you're like, what if I'm stupid?
Yeah.
What
What if I have a brain fart and I can't think of anything?
Yeah. Right? But being worthy of it is where I think it starts for all of us. And that determining the potential and just, are we worthy? And yeah, you are. Yeah, if you've got good intentions, like if you're trying to hurt somebody, I think that's a whole new realm. That's
Oh,
a
for
different
sure.
realm.
Yeah.
I don't live in that realm, right? How to deceive somebody, how to scam somebody, that's a whole different area. But I believe that if you feel it, you want it, you have the potential to do it and you're worthy to do it.
For sure.
Then go get it, girl.
Yeah.
Go get it.
And I like that you brought up intentions too, because that's what I believe kind of sets the pace for your success, right? If you have good intentions to step up on that stage and help other people, why would it not work out for you,
Yeah.
And so I think that's part of it, or with the self-sabotaging, is like, no, I want to do something good, and this doesn't just benefit me, this benefits other people. I'm being genuine, I'm being sincere,
Yep.
right? And you put that into the universe, and now you're noticing things aligning up to it. So then it's a matter of,
quickly,
okay, well, why
too.
not?
Oh, I bet. I'm predicting, I'll put this out on the podcast, by the end of the year, Cindy will have a scheduled national engagement. I totally believe, because
Yeah.
I believe in you so much. I really feel like you can have whatever you want.
Yeah.
But
Intentions are, I think, very important. And people read that, they feel it. Whether they know it or not, they can read your intentions. Is this something that somebody's trying to help with? And you know what? Okay, what if I get up there and I fail? I failed forward.
Yeah.
I failed forward. Try again. I just want the at-bat. That's what I always say. Just give me the at-bat. If
Yeah.
I fail or don't get it, or, I don't work with this client, or I don't do that, or, okay, that's fine. What did I learn? What can I improve? I love the feedback. And how can I help? Like,
See,
what's next?
I love that mentality, because I hate the word failure, and I've said that before, but for me, it's only a failure if you didn't learn anything. Failure is a moment to pivot and get redirected on a different path, or to do things differently. But
Yeah.
I
How
love
much
that
would it
thought
suck
process.
if everything just came so easily? And I know everybody's like, well, I just want it to come easily and just sit back and let it all flow to me and, me be this person. But what am I learning? What am I learning at that point? Like, just sit on my butt and it just comes to me? What are you learning? And I'm not for all the hard life or anything, but what are you learning? Every day we learn something in our interactions or the people we come across and interact with. We're learning something, whether it's consciously or subconscious.
Well, and you're constantly opening doors, and opening possible opportunities when you're out and about trying to learn a craft or even just out in public. I feel like if you're just waiting for things to come to you, you're going to very much limit your possibilities. Definitely. All right. So Cindy, how do you use that intentional wellness and gear it toward financial wellness, or even in your career or even in your personal life? What are ways that you use that intention to build, I don't even want to say your portfolio, but build
portfolio wealth.
Your financial wellness.
Well, a home is the biggest investment somebody will probably make. If you think about it, if you're going to go out and buy a $500,000 home, what else are you going to buy that costs $500,000? Maybe a boat. I mean, maybe. Definitely not shoes, right? Although I love shoes. But the home is going to be your financial investment. And it's where you're going to use the biggest amount of cash. And real estate has always been a good investment. Even in the, crash of 2006, 7, 8, that foreclosure period, they bounced back. It bounced back. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to stay in your home or own property for a long period of time, it's going to appreciate. It's appreciating in value while you're paying off the debt. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to have equity. And so what is the switch? It's the same type of mentality. I want, therefore it will be. And what does that look like? It looks a little maybe different for each person. It's saying, well, I want to own a fourplex. Well, that comes with 4 tenants, rather than a single family home. Or I want to own commercial property where I have a big box tenant. Walmart just sends me my check every week or, pays the rent. So there's different ways to get there, but it's about tracking as well. And when we were younger, we didn't have 2 pennies to run together. I mean, we were poor. I hate to say it. I mean, we had very little money. We had to make the decision, do we put, our money in the gas tank? Do we put it on the table? What do we do? And do we go buy milk for the baby? Or do we put a little water in the milk to make it stretch another week? So we started tracking where we spend money. And nowadays, it's funny because I don't see anybody at the grocery store writing down, in their checkbook, how much they spent and then doing the math on the side, right? That's an old person's thing. We just spend and look at our bank account. But if you take and you can export, usually most bank statements can be exported, and you can put it into an Excel spreadsheet and start categorizing. How much did I spend on fast food or food? How much did I spend on extra items, personal hygiene, housing? And you start looking at your budget just a little bit closer. Then you're like, oh, hey, I spent, $900 this month on food. It's just the 2 of us. I think we could probably cut back there. Mm-hmm. And then start just putting a little bit away and putting it away and putting it away. Just putting it into a checking account or a savings account or even mattress money. We could talk about mattress money when we get into details and how long it has to be in the bank for your lender to see it, but just setting it aside. And even if it's just 10%, I always say, you know what, we've got so much in our lives going on. If you just take 10%, which is not a ton, and just push it away to either a retirement account, a savings account, a travel account, whatever you want, an investment account, you will get a nice little nest egg over time. But you have to be diligent. Right? Intentions, mm-hmm. Focus, it's the same thing. I want my portfolio to grow. Therefore, this is what I'm going to do.
I love that. Mm-hmm. That's something anyone could start doing today.
Today, you could do
mm-hmm.
it today. Mm-hmm. Start tracking and then just start pushing it away, and not spending it. Yeah, you may have to have a rainy day fund, but start living on a more strict budget. Oh my gosh, I said the B word, the budget. And so you'll get there. You'll get there. It may not be overnight, but then again, maybe. Mm-hmm. Right? It's all how much you want to put. If you're like, at the end of the month, or hey, you know what, we have an extra $1,000. Instead of saying, hey, woohoo, go to Hawaii, let's put that away.
Yeah.
Because your investments are going to get you to a point where you can travel more, do more. I mean, when you have rentals, that mailbox money, it's your extra. I mean, Social Security and retirement may not cover it when you get to that age. And so if that's the case, where are you going to get more money? You're going to work until you're 90? I mean, you know, for the lifestyle that you want. No, there's a way to do it. And I feel real estate's where you do it. Yeah. Some people think stock market, that's too many numbers for me. Real estate is, I think, a great investment, especially in the long term.
Yeah. No, perfect.
Well, I'm super excited. Well, we're very excited to have you speak on our upcoming workshop. I feel like you've given us a lot of information so far, and I can only imagine what else you
There's
have.
good little nuggets to come.
Yes. No, and I, like me personally, as a single parent, I want to know these things. I'm intimidated by numbers, all of that. I feel like it's more overwhelming for me. So instead of trying to learn, I kind of just step back.
Yeah.
But this is perfect. I feel like, you know, this is what I need. I feel like there's a lot of people that would benefit from this. And it's just knowledge, you know, really, it's information. And if I take time to listen and
apply
it and say these numbers aren't so overwhelming, these big words, you know, just sit, relax, listen,
Knowledge is power.
take notes. Yes.
Knowledge is definitely power. And finding the person that's going to walk you through that process is somebody, you know, you got to find the right person, you know, to find the person that says, okay, let's walk you through this. I know it's scary and I may not know all the answers, but here's what I do know.
Yeah.
And here's what I say we could do today. So yeah, at the workshop, I think you'll walk away with going, okay, I could do this today. I don't have to wait till I'm X old.
Yeah.
Or I have this much. It's steps you can start taking today.
Yeah.
Perfect. And what date is that, Joanne? September?
That is going to be September 24th from
Perfect.
9 to 1 at our
All right.
office, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, stay tuned and follow us on Instagram. We'll start posting info about that so you can get all signed up.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you,
Thanks
Cindy.
for
My
being
pleasure.
here. And how would someone be able to contact you if they wanted to get in touch?
So many ways.
Okay.
So you can Google me. That's the easiest way, and then you decide which way. But you can call me, text me, 209-499-0393. That's my electronic leash, as I have. Or email Cindy@cindyfraze.com. Check out my website, cindyfraze.com. But if you're just like, I can't remember anything but her name, just Google me. There aren't too many of me out there. I guess I am unique, unless Brenna tells me I'm not unique.
She will. Give it time.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to Awaken Your Ego, a podcast that explores biohacking and self-discovery. We hope you follow us on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date on what we're working on in your area.